So, welcome everyone to yet another Milkcast. This time around, I think we are doing um, just a game with kind of more of like the solo queue of Milkcast. We have been casting a lot of 5v5 games, but this one is organized simply by people joining a Reddit in-house channel on the NA server and going ahead and just getting 10 people who want to play a custom game. Not all of these custom games are going to be casted and put up on YouTube, but they are all a ton of fun. So if you would like to get in on the action, go ahead and join the Reddit in-house channel on the NA server, so you can um, get into some of these games. And we are going to go ahead. We've seen the bans. I missed them a little bit. I'm trying to download a program to maybe help me figure out troubleshoot some of the issues I've been having with sound quality. Sometimes it just goes choppy and I have to restart the audio. At any rate, we do see Vayne and Mundo banned. First time I've seen a Mundo ban in all of the tournaments so far. Riven being banned by Purple Team. Not really sure if that is targeted. We do see a couple of different players in these in-houses doing a very good job playing Riven. Rammus ban, haven't seen that in a while. He did receive a number of nerfs to his tankiness, and I think that's really what people are afraid of. Obviously, tons and tons and tons of single target CC. However, a lot of his value does get negated by the enemy AD carry picking up cleanse because they can just cleanse out of that taunt. We also see Lee Sin. Lee Sin is I'd say a much better ban because he ganks a lot harder, or at least equally hard, I think. Kind of pre-6 with in terms of damage, not as much CC, but lots of damage. And then post-6, of course, has that huge ulti, which can't be cleansed because it just kicks you in the face and you fly across the map. So then, of course, Morgana really a strong ban these days. However, it is a little bit strange that blue team banned Morg, as they did first pick Ahri, and I'd say Ahri is one of the best matchups for Morgana in lane. Of course, you can just ulti out of her ulti. Morgana ult is a tether, and if that tether lasts for I think 2 or maybe 2.5 seconds, it will stun you. However, Ahri's ulti is 3 kind of charges of mobility, and you can use that to just break the chains that Morg puts down on her ult and really not really take a whole lot of damage. Most of Morgana's ulti is useful. The real reason it's such a strong pick is because it can potentially stun all 5 members and do a lot of damage in team fights. In lane, however, not really the case. So a little bit of an interesting decision from blue team. Personally, I would have left Morgana open and then just use that amazing Ahri counter pick. Purple team, it is great to see a Leona Ashe lane. Level 6, of course, has a ton of CC. Whether Leona lands her arrow, Leona lands her Eclipse ulti. No, not Eclipse. Sunspot, I believe. At any rate, her ulti is an AoE stun, Solar Flare, and then that will enable Ashe to hit her enchanted crystal arrow. Her ulti, both of them dealing a lot of CC post 6, and the enemy Corki, if he gets pegged by either bit of CC post 6, Sivir, I think, yeah, there we go. Much safer choice because she can block those Ashe arrows. Graves, not so sure about that. I think I would have wanted Corki for the long range escape. Or I would have wanted Sivir for that spell shield that you can kind of just see that Ashe winding up back her arrow and pop that spell shield to block it. At any rate, we do see what looks to be a Shen top pick. Shen, of course, very, very, very strong pick these days with that global ulti and with that strong ability to duel early game. Nocturne being picked up in the jungle against Trundle. Trundle, I love Trundle. He's an excellent pick. However, I do think that really his advantage in the past has been that he's such like a strong dueler, but really these days when you have people like Shyvana or Mundo who don't really get his ability was that he could reduce the AD of an enemy champion, and that's what made him such a strong dueler. These days people like Mundo aren't really so affected by that. And the more and more gap closers that Riot has put into the game, the more mobility you have, the less valuable his wall is. I think the nerfs to flash kind of buffed his pillar a bit because you could no longer cleanly flash over it. You still, even if you flash the actual terrain that gets generated, you can put up that pillar, which is sort of like a way to block off exits. People can flash over that, but they still have to walk through the huge slow that gets provided by that by that Trundle pillar. So Trundle, I still think a very underrated pick. Obviously, there's the SSOTP joke on a lot of like general discussion and on Reddit, which is Secret Society of Trundle Players. Pretty much, people think that he's a little bit underrated. I don't know if that's a fair assessment. I think that he is a very good jungler, but he's not the best by any means. So, however, I think against Nocturne, it is a very good pick because Nocturne obviously very reliant on auto attacks, and Trundle just eats into auto attackers. So we'll see. It does look like we're going to go for, I think Sacred Venge played Maokai the other day as a solo lane. That is going to be a solo lane Maokai, probably either mid or top. I think that it is a very interesting lane. Obviously, Chu8, the former Han player, was able to reach rank 1 on the NA servers about, I want to say 6 months ago, playing nothing but Rod of Ages into Triforce on Maokai. He does have huge amounts of burst, especially when built with a little bit of AP. One of the highest base damage abilities in the game on his Sapling Toss has a 1-to-1 ratio plus around 460 damage at level 5. So that is a very, very, very scary nuke. And definitely, if you fall behind, and actually we did see it was played against Ahri, which I don't really think is the strongest pick for Maokai because Ahri can just use her ulti for a lot of mobility. And if Maokai goes to get the Twisted Advance near Ahri's turret, she can pop one charge of ulti and then flash into turret range and then land that charm. And really just put Maokai in a compromising position, especially if her jungler Trundle comes around. Trundle obviously does a much better job ganking lanes that are overextended. Doesn't have any hard CC, but does have a ton of chase potential with his Contaminate and his Pillar. So it is going to be interesting to see how this game goes. How's it going? You're back?
Are you able to hear me better?
Unfortunately, it does sound like your microphone is still low quality. It sounds like it's a network problem for you. So if you have the stream running or anything, maybe you could turn that off.
Yeah, let me put some stuff.
Okay. Yeah, just go ahead, mute yourself for now, and then just unmute your microphone when maybe if you could get some program shut or something like that. Turn off them torrents, which I should also probably do. Shh, don't tell the MPIA. I think that just popped up on my screen. Anyway, that might do a little bit of work to maybe make the audio quality glitch that I've been having run a little bit better. I do actually have a download going, I believe, for this freeware program, which is going to help me see if my CPU is being maxed. I'm going to go ahead and start that in the background. For now, though, I will go over the lanes. We do see Janna and Graves down bottom against Ashe and Leona. We see Shen versus Kennen up top. Both of them picking teleport. Very wise to pick up teleport on Kennen because when Shen ultis away, he can chase him with that teleport. The difference being Shen also picked up teleport, so once the action's done, Shen might be able to teleport back to lane and get a push going, while Kennen will have to traverse the map with his lightning ball. Ball of cocaine, as it's often called. Does give him a nice move speed start. Ooh, wow. Weather outside is a little bit scary. I'm actually gonna turn on my webcam so you guys can see this. Take a look at that. A bit of a storm coming. I was planning to maybe put a webcam on this stream at a later date, but for now I think that is all you really need to see because we do have, I think I've gone over the picks and bans nicely. Usually, of course, I do like to go over initiates, disengages, and wave clears, which I think are a underrated component of team comps that a lot of even the pro players don't really put much point kind of going into it. I was talking to Double Lift on Skype the other day. He gave me a little bit of knowledge into kind of the way CLG looks at their picks and bans. He did say that wave clears aren't really as important for CLG because if they pick an early game team comp and go for an early game pushing comp, they don't really need the defensive wave clears. So I personally think that defensive wave clears are one of the most important things that you need to think of when you pick a team comp, because how many times have we seen a team like M5 blitz down the bot turret after a successful gank and immediately rotate mid and have someone like a Rise or someone with weak wave clears, just completely unable to actually get the enemy team off the turret. Someone like Twisted Fate, AP Janna, even to a lesser degree Ari, someone with a long range one-shot wave clear is so valuable in team comps, and that is why I think AP Janna is just so underrated. At any rate, we are going to go ahead and see how these two teams are able to do against each other today. So I'm just going to wait for the game to get in so I can actually see it. There we go. I'll enter, change it back to borderless, and I am going to go ahead and I honestly don't know what the problem is. This seems to be the cause of a lot of the audio glitches I have is when things, when that game spawns as like a half instance. But we'll see if it does make a difference. Koina, hoping to get a guest cast position. Are you back?
Is it any better? At all?
Not really.
Is it like game breaking?
I don't know. You just sound so robotic. It might be best that you don't cast this game, and maybe we can get. I really do want to cast with you. I love having these kind of guest casters, but this time around, I don't know. It does sound very robotic and kind of distracting. Did you watch the Go for Law Asia, by the way, had Ocelot trying to guest cast with a similar sort of mic quality, and it did sort of, distract people from the game, so it might be best that you just sit this one out, unfortunately.
I can just type some stuff I know off the back of my head.
Yeah, that sounds good. If you want to kind of give me some of your advice on kind of like the overall, strategy that both games are going to be using, I think that would be better than having people listening to your sort of staticky robotic mic this time around. By the way, we do see blue team snuck behind this cannon.
Minions have spawned.
It's going to be interesting what direction he heads in, but it looks like he is quite safe here. Just kind of rocking back and forth in this brush. I think he is gonna be able to spot the Trundle. These graphical. Oh, and he did just spot Shen. So they know that they're going for a steal on red. Pinks come out. There we go. So Maokai saying, yo, bro, get off my jungle, mate. And actually wasting a little bit of time here. He's not in position. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That is a solo lane Maokai. It is the Nocturne, of course, jungle. So, at any rate, very nice of Trundle to go ahead and steal red. If this Nocturne decides to go and counter jungle the enemy red, and he gets caught by Trundle, who has a red buff, he is almost certainly going to lose that duel. So instead, he might just have to suck it up and go and clear his camps, which were stolen from him. Trundle not gonna, I guess maybe just understanding that the Nocturne is not going to be confident enough to go for his red. But we'll see. He has leveled up to level 2. Is able to control his blue buff, which is nice. Nocturne actually not clearing the small camps here. A little bit of misplay from Dinofron. That is going to put him back about 30 to 40 seconds behind his picking up his red buff. He did start Claw 5, which is nice though. He is going to, if he bumps into Trundle, he's going to be a little bit more survivable. Trundle dealing almost entirely physical damage with auto attacks and Q, except for his ulti. Trundle very much one of the Wriggles plus auto attacks based junglers, sort of tanky DPS. Not so much relying on abilities for damage because his Q sort of counts as an auto attack and his W is sort of an attack speed boost with steroid. I'm going to go ahead and make sure, if anyone, by the way, watching the stream listens and hears the sound kind of getting a little bit clunky, be sure to go ahead and message me and say reset your XSplit settings. And then maybe over the course of the next few days, I hope to get those bugs kind of ironed out. Sorry. However, for now, some of the certain VODs are going to get a little bit choppy until I realize to reset those settings. Nice work going down a dragon from Leona. However, really without eyes on Tribrush, you're not going to be all that effective against Trundle ganks. Probably not going to be ganking downriver. Probably instead just going to come either through lane, which is sort of pushed right now, and a pink ward from blue team. Very smart there. Looks like Trundle is going to get in position for a gank here because he knows that this brush isn't warded. Very, very good play from the Janna. Gray's just going to want to push these couple creeps up. Trundle doing a nice job to stay out of range. Ooh, and Leona just barely backing off from that brush. Would have certainly spotted Trundle. And see what happens here. I am looking strictly at the view of red team. They don't know Trundle is in this brush because he was able to gank through lane. Oh, and this could be bad for Leona going in. Trundle finally shows his head, gets the wall out. Leona forced to flash away. Might be able to pick up a kill. They use the summoner heal. Exhaust also going down. So that was, I think, 3 summoner spells blown by red team. Very nice job from Trundle, able to get that that damage out. We do see not a whole lot of damage going down. Oh, lots of damage going down on Maokai though. I was going to say, Maokai not doing such a great job of harassing Ari. However, really all it is one Nocturne gank, and that is just going to be so much damage. I think Maokai actually going to be dealing more damage to Ari if he can get it off. However, Ari with that range and mobility, probably going to be a little bit easier to put poke down onto Maokai. Maokai does sort of have situational burst. It's very difficult to get both of the explosions of his sapling toss off without using his hard CC, and I don't think he wants to use his Twisted Advance to get in right now since he is at such a health disadvantage. However, if Nocturne is around to give him a little bit more confidence, that could be good. He does, of course, have a passive which sustains him quite nicely in lane. However, he does have to get into auto attack range to use it, and it does rely on these spell casts. Gank up top, thank you very much, and that is going to be a very dead cannon falling down, I think, to the Shen taunt, and just the red buff slow from Trundle applying itself very nicely. Koina doing a very nice job of keeping me focused on where this action is happening, even though he isn't joining us in Skype. Able to use chat to its fullest potential. He is in spectator mode for me. Unfortunately, just having a little bit of trouble with his, I think probably network, causing a little bit of robotic, laggy kind of voice in Skype. Oh, Applecraft not quite able to get the damage down on Dynafunk. Dynafunk is going to be able to escape very easily with that Duskbringer. Popping a lot of health potions here. He's down to only 1 more. But he is at full health, so he's in a good position to invade. To fight. Trundle, however, does have a Ruby Crystal, Longsword, and Vamp Scepter. Yeah, that is a very good point, actually. Trundle, Trundle not really seen all that much these days. His ulti saps away magic resist and armor, as well as a tiny little bit of health. However, Ari actually using, I think she should have used a second tick of her. Or 2 or even 3 charges of her ulti to get right up to that Maokai to ensure that the charm would hit. She kind of went for a long range one. Actually got it on target, but unfortunately Maokai was just able to be out of range. So a little bit of misplay from Akoth. I don't like the fact that he just went back in range of this cannon creep. Obviously cannon creep's giving 3 or 4 times the experience of a regular creep, so you really want to stick around. They only spawn every 3 waves. And I don't think Ari's going to be able to make it back in time. This is interesting. A lot of synergy between the builds and the Trundle. Actually, Kennen using his ulti defensively to get that gank away. Kennen is a range champ. Oh, and Trundle finding Nocturne here. This could be bad. Actually, Trundle taking a lot of damage from just 1 red bite away. Oh, and a nice spell shield from Trundle, able to block that taunt. He is level 4 combined to level 7 of Shen and level 6 of Trundle, so I think it is wise for Shen to back off. Did do a very good job of getting Nocturne low, and Wally Marno knows that that red buff is up, almost certainly going to be able to steal it. He does have a smite up in 5 seconds, so Dynafunk not in a good position right now. I think they don't have eyes on Trundle, so he doesn't know if he's still waiting around in this brush. And actually, his big golem was stolen by Trundle earlier, I believe, or maybe he took it right before he headed up top to stop that 2v1. Lots of damage going down onto Maokai, however, I don't think he is going to be taken down. The Ignite was blown, and so yeah, the ulti actually not used. I figured that was an ulti from Ari, however, it's just about to come off cooldown. Don't think it was the best idea to waste that Ignite so early on, because now she doesn't have as much kill potential. I'm gonna pick up blue, and I was hoping to know. So this is gonna steal away a total of 30% of the enemy's armor and MR, combined with the fact that this Maokai only has 34 MR, and Ari has picked up Sork Shoes. for a total of 29 magic pen. Pretty much from the first tick of that Trundle ulti, this Ahri will be dealing true damage to Sacred Venge. Not the smartest idea to not run any magic resist runes. Looks like he's put it all in AP. He does have 30 AP from his Doran's rings, however 43 AP coming off of runes. We do see also a donated buff over to Maokai. Used his sapling a little bit early, so he is going to have to waste a little bit of time using that to advance over the goal. Looks like Ahri, no, instead just going to go for the ward. Might be able to pick up a kill on Kennen up here, who is sticking around very low on health, and also, no, he does have 48 MR. So we will see how well Maokai, obviously huge potential to clear waves, can pretty much just one-shot creeps with that sapling toss. Ahri just barely missing the charm there, and Maokai just able to farm 72 CS to Ahri's 53, so he is quite dominant with these sapling tosses. Of course, able to pick up a lot of CS for him. Just kind of safely farming right now. He's going to miss a couple on this wave. Kind of misused his sapling toss. Tried to get some damage down on Ahri, and it just... Oh, there's a sapling toss. Lots of damage going up on Ahri. Very nicely done. This is the power of Maokai. You throw down... He was level 9 there. 180 plus 280 is 460 base damage, plus 78 is a 1-to-1 AP ratio. Sorry, 83. Actually... Yeah, 83, it is a 1-to-1 ratio, and you could see just how much damage Maokai able to deal to the Ahri if he can get in range. So we did see Sacred Venge trying to play this Maokai versus Ahri matchup earlier. The jungler presence was just so stacked against him though. And is Trundle going to... There it is, nicely done. Once again, able to get a very good sapling toss off, forcing the flash on Trundle. Nocturne a little bit too slow with the second component of that ulti, wasted a little bit. His flash was down. One thing you can do, if you're here and you're just slightly out of range, you can actually flash then ulti to kind of try and close that distance. Nocturne's ulti, of course, for those who don't know, blinds everyone on the enemy team. They can only see what they see in their field of view, and then the second component of it is this huge range gap closer. So he wasn't able to get that second tick, which is a gap closer. It looks like Trundle is around bot, maybe going to be expecting a little bit of a counter gank. Sort of a weird build here. He did pick up that Ruby Crystal and Ninja Tabi before finishing his Wriggles. I don't know if he wants to build that into a Heart of Gold or what. Anyway, in terms of the lane matchups right now, we do see 88 CS and a kill on Maokai compared to 63 CS, so 25 CS advantage for Maokai plus a kill is going to put him about 800 gold ahead. Up top, oh yeah, thank you. Really, I had seen that, I had just said that Trundle was going to be around for that gank, and I guess didn't really think that he was going to go through with it because he was low on health and mana. I didn't really think they'd make anything out of it, and not really as much kill potential as I'd expect. Leona and Ashe have a lot of CC that can be applied safely from range with that. Oh, okay, so no pink ward here and no ward from Leona. I think probably the smart thing to do. That is now the second time that we have seen a gank from Trundle coming through that brush. Leona should really get eyes here. She has a nice ward over at Tribrush, which is relatively new. Oh, sorry, that's from Janna actually. Only really eyes at Dragon for red team. Not the smartest thing to do. Leona really wants to get some more wards down on the map, especially since no one on the other team has an Oracles yet. Will be interesting to see what Trundle uses this Ruby Crystal for. I don't know why he picked it up. A lot of the time you do see junglers pick up a Heart of Gold before they finish their Wriggles, just kind of get that GP5 ticking, since you don't really need all that much lifesteal on these sustaining kinds of champs. But like I said, yep, Triforce, so this kind of Triforce versus Frozen Mallet discussion. Trundle, definitely a champ who scales very well with Triforce because of those proxy gets. Might be able to find this cannon. Instead, just going to back off because he knows Nocturne is missing. Walks by a ward here. It looks like Kennen and Nocturne are going to engage. However, red team should be careful because Shen does have his ulti. I don't know why Wally Marno isn't going into this 2v1. Fade out the Shen ulti. There it is. Kennen going to be in a lot of trouble there. Nice flash away. However, it looks like Nocturne is going to instead take that. Kennen really not playing this as a team. Doesn't use that ulti, causing his Nocturne to die. I think Nocturne and Kennen could... Oh, so I'm getting a phone call, which I will take after this game is over. Might be the last cast I get. We do see yet another kill down onto Leona. Looks like Grace is just really starting to snowball. Has that BF sword and a pickaxe. Ash only with her BF sword quite far behind right now. In terms of the gold, we see 4.3k on Graves to 3.8k. They find the cannon, however. Maokai was just so much burst damage, able to just nuke down the Trundle. So anyway, as of that most recent death, we do see about a 2k gold lead for Blue. We see 4.2k on top for Shen to 3.1k for Kennen, about a 1,000 gold difference. Ari falling very far behind this Maokai, 1.3k, and bot lane we see 4.4 versus 4k even. So not actually the biggest disadvantage right now for Ash, who does have a little bit of a disadvantage. Graves not having any Doran's blades, instead having a pickaxe, so he is going to get his IE a lot faster than Ash. However, in terms of the overall gold, it's not the biggest difference in the world. 111 CS to 130 though, plus the kill and the assist for Graves. 20 CS plus a kill and assist is quite a meaningful lead. What I'd like to see right now is maybe blue team forcing a dragon. They know that they are a little bit stronger with that Trundle, and Shen can kind of just push top and then ulti down to the dragon fight when that ulti comes up. He does have his teleport up, Kennen does not. So blue team in the dominant position right now. It looks like we might see them go for this blue, followed by maybe a dragon. We shall see. Ash hawk shots it, has her arrow up. Leona has her arrow up. Maokai's around. Very poor play from red team, not really capitalizing on that. However, a very nice Zenith Blade. Not really anyone around in position to follow up on it. We do see Shen still putting a lot of damage down on Kennen, who does have a chain vest. A lot of damage from Shen is actually magical though. Does look like he's building Phage. Maybe this is probably gonna go into a frozen mallet, whereas Trundle wants to pick up the Sheen Proc for his Rabbit Bite. Oh, and actually, not building a Phage, but building a Heart of Gold. A little bit interesting there, although I wouldn't be surprised if he did decide to still pick up oh wow, lots of damage going down on the Ari. Unlike, people really underestimate the damage on that Sapling Toss because jungle Maokais don't build an AAP and they generally max that last because they want to maximize their CC. However, it does have a lot of damage attached to it. Just want to check my messages from Koina. He has had some good insight into this game so far. Only 34 MR still on this Maokai. Not proving to be a problem though. I would like to see Trundle gank him in a little bit harder because that Ari can really snowball the game in favor of blue with that mobility on the ulti and that CC on the charm. Just not really dealing any damage though. Going straight for below the Ancients. Oh, and unfortunately blue buff actually resetting. I think she used her spells too early. Didn't let Trundle take it down low enough. Anyway, we do see a pillar. But this could be trouble, actually. Maokai's coming up, and Ari is in no position to help out, because she does have no health. The taunt from Shen missing. I think Maokai can probably one-shot. Oh, and this is very dangerous. The dive going in, caught nicely. Lots of CC coming out. That is probably going to be a dead Shen. However, Wale Marno able to pick up the kill, and Kennen taken down very low, but not quite able to pick up the kill. Ari not really helping out the teammate here. Just go use your charm and ensure that the Trundle gets away safely. Sort of a very solo queue mentality. Oh, and this could be a kill here. She is able to flash away and use that ulti to escape. Sacred Venge not using the sapling toss before the twisted events, which would have certainly been a kill. Yeah, Shen is, however, 129 CS to 84, so that's a 40 CS gold lead. Kennen just having a lot of trouble, not really receiving much help from the Nocturne, which you generally want to see up solo top, because that is a landing that just snowballs. Shen was able to get a little bit of extra gold from the ulti, which does give him sort of a global presence. Still no dragon being picked up by blue team, who is definitely in the lead right now. Graves has about... Graves can afford his Infinity Edge right now. All he has to do is go back and shop. Ash is still about 300, 400 gold away. This is a big peak in the amount of power blue team has. An Infinity Edge on your AD carry versus a... who is that going on? I think that was just the Ari taking one sapling, and because the burst damage is a component of that kind of beep we get to notify us actions going down. I think that just said, hey, I already taken a lot of burst from one sampling. Anyway, as I was saying, Graves does have the advantage in items if he goes back and shops. However, he might be losing that, and Nocturne, the gank, they know that Ahri's flash is down. Her ulti has come back off cooldown, thanks to that cooldown reduction on blue buff. Maokai also out of mana. This is the build we saw him build last time. 2 Doran's Rings and Ability Ancients. But yeah, I don't know actually. I think the blue team has sort of lost the advantage they had. Graves with 2.3k, probably going to want to pick up an Infinity Edge, and maybe if you can afford it, a Zeal. And now that blue team has the Oracles though, they do have the advantage. However, the Ash Arrow connects. Leona probably going to want to use her stun. Doesn't get the stun off, does just get a slow. And Janna not really making the most use out of that ulti. Doesn't actually knock anyone back, just knocks her into the wall. Might pay for that with her life. The focus does turn on her. The Shen ulti goes down on Trundle instead of Janna, so Janna does fall down. Wally Marno able to turn right back around, and so much burst damage coming off of Maokai onto this Graves. Double flash blown from red team, but it does secure the kill. Ash getting that perma-slow down. Kennen not deciding to teleport down bot and help his team out. I think that is a very big mistake from him. That certainly would have been a kill. Sacred Venge might be able to find this Shen.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
I think he was just barely out of vision though. I don't know why he decided to not go in there. Ahri was able to pick up that mid turret. Thanks for pointing that out. So that is going to sort of equalize the gold, or sort of neutralize the gold advantage that that blue team was able to get down bot, which was a 1-for-1 exchange, I want to say. Janna went down for blue team, but so did no one. Nocturne? I don't know. I can't actually remember. Actually, I don't really like this on Nocturne. He is building a Brutalizer, which is very sort of damage oriented. However, so many damage threats on the other team, especially since Trundle is going to be stealing away armor and MR. This Nocturne is going to be very, very, very squishy. So I think he should probably decide to tank up. He's not getting that kind of snowball that would keep him. You know, if you get a lot of level advantages, getting more damage means you could just kill people before they can put damage down on you. However, he's quite far behind. We do see a lot of damage once again going on to Kennen. That key strike. He now has a Wits End built up for 127 MR and 2.4k HP. We do see Leona taken down by Graves. Nocturne once again not quite able to get the second part of that ulti down, which certainly would have been a kill because Maokai was around with his huge amounts of burst damage. Nocturne aggroing Dragon for a little bit, not the smartest thing. There's just so much presence on the map right now. Wally Marno doing such a consistent job of jungling in each game we've seen him play. Skarner, Maokai, and now Trundle. Ash Arrow connects. Lots of burst damage going to be able to go down. However, that Infinity Edge on Graves able to just destroy. Wow. But just one-shotting the Janna, who wasn't even, I think, the target, and very, very, very close to getting the kill down on onto Trundle. That burst on Maokai is just huge right now, and he does have 232 AP, building a needlessly large rod, either going to go for a Janya's, or maybe also a Death Cap. Either way, not very much help. I would like to see him pick up a Rylai's earlier on, or a Rod of Ages maybe as his first item. Obviously, I think it is a little bit too late to pick up a Rod of Ages. He's going to have to farm up 3k gold, and then wait 10 minutes for it to hit the full effectiveness. Point out noting 29 minutes and 3 seconds is the time that Dragon will respawn. Last game we did see, in fact, the previous 2 games we've seen teams kind of sit here at around 29 minutes, kind of twiddling their thumbs. Lots of damage going down onto Leona. Ashe does have her IE, however she is a Zeal behind Graves. Anyway, when you have that dragon spawn, you can kind of get in range and kind of have your whole team there while the other team is kind of dilly-dallying elsewhere on the map, maybe pushing lanes. The second it spawns, you nuke it down instantly and get a free 1,000 gold for your team, 190 gold each. Very, very, very significant early game advantage can be picked up just by securing that dragon. Looks like a gank is going to be going down up top. Once again, though, Ahri really misusing her spells. A nice taunt from Nocturne, and you can just see exactly how fast he does go down. Almost certainly going to be a kill there. The Phage proc does kind of secure that. There's a nice Trundle. That's what you want to see. And Maokai just letting this Ahri roam a little bit too much. His turret is down, so maybe he doesn't feel so confident sticking around past river. However, only 600 health left on that. I would like to see Nocturne maybe go mid, and he has picked up Brawler's Gloves. Just so much offense-oriented items when you are getting nuked down. Not the thing you want to do. Maokai does get spotted on this ward. Feels confident enough, I think, to maybe one-shot this Ahri. If you want to calculate the total amount of burst damage Maokai is able to do, 263, and we have all these very nice ratios. Something like a 0.8 on the W. Not a big ratio on the Q, however, it is on a very low cooldown, sort of a finisher move. But combined, I'd say that not even including his ulti or ignite, you easily have around 1,000 damage. Yeah, so interesting point from point at the Maokai is very far ahead of Ahri, but she is actually roaming, which Maokai has a significant potential to do. He can just kind of throw a sapling down. We do see finally a Nocturne ulti coming out. Ashe gets taken very low. I don't know about that Janna ult. Oh, not quite able to save the Graves, and also I think maybe even saving the Ashe. I think she was about 1 IE crit away from going down. So it could have just been a 1-for-1 instead of the Janna ulti, maybe to a certain degree able to save that Ashe. We now see a 7k gold lead for blue team, even though Ahri is so far behind. Probably actually going to be smart for her to just say, I give up on the turret. Apparently my sound is bugged. I'm going to go ahead and switch to full screen, Alt-Tab, and go ahead and start and stop the audio again, as I so often do in these games. So once again, I do hope to fix that bug. Thankfully this time around we didn't miss much action, just a little bit of a push from Maokai, and now looks like he is going to be able to pick up a kill here. Cannon very low, has to be careful not to get baited, because he only has 48 MR. We do see a lot of damage, by the way, going down on Ashe from the Trundle. That is going to be a kill. I'm going to look back up top. I don't know if there's going to continue it. The Zenith Blade misses. Maokai able to follow the Shen with his Twisted Advance. However, Ignite going down on the Shen. The Q missing, but the auto attack is able to stun him, and this is almost certainly going to be a kill. There's the sapling, very nicely done, and there's the flash. I don't think flash was really necessary from Kennen. I think that kill was secured, and that might come back to haunt him. They might have just overcommitted a little bit. The sapling was in the way. He did have ulti to get up. However, there is just so much reapplyable CC on both on Maokai, whose Twisted Advance is on a 5-second cooldown. Oh, Ahri, once again, if this Ahri is able to watch this VOD, I really do recommend stop using your charm as the initiate. Instead, use maybe your ulti for initiate. By the way, I also don't like the fact that she's going straight for a death cap. I think she should really maybe pick some rivalize against Nocturne, against Ashe. It is, people who don't really have escapes get pretty hard countered by slows, because if you get that dominant position, if you catch them, you can just chase them forever. And I think Ahri, especially since she's not doing such a great job of hitting these charms at max range, what she might want to do is get in there with ulti first. Oh, and lots of damage coming down. Certainly going to be a dead Ahri. Just gets caught a little bit. Ooh, and I think she did get a lot of life. A lot of spell back with that Will of the Ancients. Not quite enough. Once again, maybe if she had that giant spell, it would have been a different story. Able to survive. Maokai, that's Trundle, finding that Nocturne instantly going down to the damage. He did pick up a Frozen Mallet instead of a Triforce. This time around, I don't really agree. Wow, and very nicely done. Oh, 13 health on that cannon. Very, very, very scary. AFK for the win from Shen, but I don't really see anyone who is AFK. Kennen throwing out a little bit of a joke there. Oh, I see what Shen was saying. He had that ulti up to save the Ahri, and he was in fact AFK. We do see that lots of damage going down onto Baron, and Red Team just not in a position to stop it. They don't actually have any vision. They want to just kind of passing by. I don't actually know. You can see Contaminate. There it is, picked up by the blue team. You can see Contaminate through certain walls. I think if it kind of pokes over. Looks like Shen is in a little bit of trouble. However, he does have his ulti down. Lots of damage coming down on the Graves. He needs to be careful to hold on to. Oh my god, look at the size of that shield from Shen and Janna combined. So much shield. Tons of shield coming out. That is a double kill for the Graves. Very nicely able to turn it around. Ashe is farming bot meanwhile. Not really going to do a whole lot. That Shen ult was huge though. It is a level 3 Shen ult healing, shielding 850 plus 54 is 900 health going on to anyone he wants, whether it's the Ahri or the Grave. So maybe that's why Ahri didn't want to pick up that Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Maybe the synergy with Shen there is that if she does get caught, she can be saved. I think, once again, going back to the whole thing about consistent wave clears, look at what happens when you don't have one. I think a waste of a John ulti, that kill was definitely secured. No real need for John ulti. And it looks like Ashe is just not even going to be in a position to save this base. So almost certainly going to be a free inhib. Red team would be making a mistake if they try and defend this. Oh, and there's the mistake. That Fondas is certainly going to go down. They're just going one by one. Cannon also going to die because of it, and that is almost certainly going to be GG. Once again, when you're against 5 people, especially under a turret, you don't want to do that. Shen porting down bot, not deciding to push. I think they could have just used him there and ended the game. However, I think maybe with Graves here, they are going to do that anyway. You have 3 seconds on Nocturne, 10 seconds on Maokai. But once again, this is a big mistake you're seeing a lot of teams make in these in-house games. I think that they were clearly in the disadvantage there. All lanes sort of lost. But really sealed the deal by not controlling Baron, and then once Baron was taken, they did not do a good job of just grouping up and preventing the enemy team from getting any round. So, this was a solo cast this time around. I think I'm going to take a short break. I need to figure out, I think I have plans later on tonight that I don't want to miss. And I have got to eat some lunch. It is 4 o'clock now. So, Koina, thank you. Sorry that you couldn't get the Skype call going, but she had you had your a lot of valuable commentary, especially at the stuff I wasn't looking at on the map. So I'm going to go ahead and end this recording. Very interesting to see Trundle being played, and did a lot. I think Wale Marno, a very dominant jungler, does lots of very intelligent counter jungling. Dino Funk did fall very behind and really made a very bad idea to kind of continue a static sort of build. I guess he really just wanted that Yumi's Ghostblade. Not such a great idea when you're 0-6 to try and pick up more damage, because that is not really going to do a whole lot to save you. They really had a strong initiate with Nocturne, Ashe, Leona, Maokai, and Kennen. I think they really, if they had a 5v fight where Nocturne was a little bit beefier, they might have been able to turn things around, especially over a Baron. Could have been a very different game. For the purple team. Did fall very far behind in CS and in kills to the Trundle. I would have liked to see a Heart of Gold being picked up. Maybe even, not a Philostone. I was going to say maybe a Shirelia's Reverie would have helped the team, but you probably don't want that on Nocturne because he does have his gap closer and movement speed steroid. At any rate, interesting game to watch. We did see the Maokai pulling off some sick burst. Wasn't quite able to, I think, roam as hard as he would have wanted. Ashe and Maokai did very good jobs to stay kind of a little bit even in their lane. But really, I think just the Cannon got hammered up top. Cannon should really build a little bit more magic resist against Shen, who deals primarily magic damage. Although I think he did not the worst decision in the world to rush that Jonas Hourglass. Would have, who needs magic resist when you have invulnerability, right? And of course, that Cannon ulti combined with the Jonas, very, very strong combo. At any rate, I'm going to go ahead and end this recording. Very nicely played from Trundle, very nicely played from Maokai. We really saw the potential of his burst, even though not so much help coming out from the jungler. Wale Marno definitely high up on the tier list of Reddit in-house junglers this time around. Didn't, kind of just met our expectations, I guess you could say. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end this recording. Very well played by both teams, and I will see you later. I'm going to take a short break and see you later for some more in-house games later on today if I've got the time. So thanks for tuning in, guys. VOD, of course, will be posted on YouTube at youtube.com/Belcast. Thank you very much. GG, WP.